In this video, I'll demonstrate how to set up a Guest Self Signup wireless LAN and demonstrate a client logging into this type of network. This type of wireless LAN allows visitors to access the network temporarily using a one-time token. A host must approve the guest request in order to provide the temporary network credentials to the guest user. So from the dashboard page, I'll click on Networks, and I'll click on Plus New Network. And I'm going to have a guest network, and it's going to be a self-sign-in network, and I'm going to call it Guest Self Signup Wireless LAN. Now you'll notice here that a self-signup allows visitors to access the network temporarily using a one-time token. A host must approve the guest request in order to provide the temporary network credentials to the guest user. And we have a little pictorial diagram on the right describing this process. So we'll click Next, and this brings us to the onboarding page. First is the maximum number of devices that the guest can use. So this will be anywhere from 1 to 10. We'll go ahead and select 3. Allow domain for the host. Now this is the domain that the host will use or can use. So I'm going to put in ruckuswireless.com, and I'm going to put in gmail.com, and I'm going to put in sti.net. This next section is password expiration options. Now this is going to be what the host sees. So if all of these boxes are checked, 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 day, 1 week, and 1 month, when the host sees the email that is generated when the client tries to log in, so they can select which one they want if they're all checked. If I only checked one, in other words, if I unchecked everything except 1 week, then that's the only option they would have. But we'll go ahead and keep all the options there. All right, advanced network settings. Here I can determine that they will be redirected once they've logged in. So we'll go ahead and just take them to the ruckuswirelesswebsite.com. So that's where they'll be taken once they log in. MAC caching, by default, it's set for 4 hours. I could have up to 1 day, so we'll go ahead and give them the maximum. And the grace period can be adjusted as well, up and down a little bit. All right. So now I'll hit Next to go to the portal web page. And this is what the client's going to see when they log in. So I can put in a welcome text, and I'll say, Welcome to Awani Art Studio. And you'll notice that that shows up over on the right. So this is the text that they'll see. If I wanted to have a different logo, I could click Change. And I could go out here and put in a logo of something else that I would want. Terms and conditions, I can put something here or not. I can say, you have access for 1 week. And what's going to happen then is when the client logs on to the wireless LAN, they're going to be asked to enter their name. They're going to be asked to enter a phone number. Then they're going to put the email of the host. So they have to know this information ahead of time. And then there's some optional information here. So we'll go ahead and hit Next. And we will select the Awani Arts venue. I have to make sure it's turned on at least one venue. And then we'll hit Next. This is my network summary page. Gives my name, SSID, category, type, and venues, just to verify before we hit the Create button. Advanced settings, I have some variable options that I could go through. I could hide the SSID, change the VLAN ID, change the session timeout, and other choices. But I will go ahead and hit the default, and then we will then create the network. So it'll say creating the network, and this is going to take about 30 to 60 seconds. And then after a while, it'll say activating network on the venue, Awani Arts. And then a short time later, it takes me back to the networks page. So this is our network that we just created. You notice that it does not have a description yet, so I could click on that and give it a description. So we'll hit Edit Networks. And I'll call it the Guest Wireless LAN, and I'll hit Save. And that will go ahead and update the network. And when that's finished, it automatically drops me into a detailed description of the network that we just created. So it says that overall, everything is okay. We've got 2 APs operational. We're activated on 1 venue, and it gives me some parameters over here. You'll notice that there's no data down here yet because we don't have any clients that have logged in. Now, before I log in as a client, I want to go to the Users tab and show you something for a second. So we click on Users, and here we have the various clients that are attached to our network. But notice that we have another tab up here called Guest. I'm going to click on that, and at this point in time, we have no guests who have logged in. Once I log in on this self-sign-in guest wireless LAN, you'll see that my name will show up over here. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my client's hat and go ahead and log into this wireless LAN. So I'll go to the bottom of my screen, and I'll click on my wireless network connection, and I'll scroll to the bottom, and I notice that here we are. Here is the Guest Self Signup wireless LAN that we just created. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to hit connect, and it's connecting to that network. Now what I have to do is open up another browser page in order for that login to come up. So I'll open up another browser tab, and you'll see that I come to my registration. So here it says, welcome to the Awani Art Studio. That's the introduction that we put in. It says, enter your details to receive your password. Okay, so what's going to happen is I've got to enter in my name and my password. I want it to be sent to my phone, so I've got to enter in my phone number. And it says the password will be sent to this number. Now, I'm going to enter in the host that will be asked to approve my registration. So I'm going to put in an alias that I made up for myself called jpforBetterWiFi@gmail.com. I could say something like, I need access for 1 week. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit register. And it says that the request was sent to my email for approval. Now I'm going to have to wait until I get a password from the host. So what I've done to demonstrate this is I've opened up another tab on this JP for Better Wi-Fi Google account. So I'm going to click on this email that I just got from my Ruckus cloud. So this is from the host perspective. Remember that we had to put the email address in there for the host. This is what the host got. So what the host is going to do, it says, hello, John Perro is asking for permission to connect to the Wi-Fi network Guest Self Signup Wireless LAN. And this was the note that I put in. I need access for 1 week. Click to approve access for, and then these were the options. If you remembered when I had all 4 of those boxes checked. So I'm asking for 1 week, so I'm going to go ahead and click 7 days. And it says a password was then sent to John Perro. And the password is 837250. So I'll go ahead and enter in that password and then connect to the Wi-Fi. And it says you can now access our Wi-Fi network. Enjoy. And there we are. We've now been redirected to the Ruckus website, and we're ready to go. So let's go back to the Cloud Wi-Fi portal. From the dashboard, I'm going to click on Users. And you'll notice now that under the guest, we have 1 active user. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And there we are. This gives my name, gives my phone number, and the type, which was sponsored, the SSID that I'm allowed on, and the expiration. Remember that this was a week expiration. So now remember, now I'm the host, and from the host perspective, I can click on the Manage Guest out here, and I could disable that guest, I could generate a new password, or I could delete the guest. So let's say, for example, I thought that somebody else was coming in on their password. Well, then I could go ahead and send them a new password or delete them. So that's how I would manage these guests. So I'll close that. We'll go back to our networks. And from our networks page, I'll click on Guest Self Signup Wireless LAN. And this is the screen that we've seen before. And since we've just logged in, we still don't have any data that shows up down here. It takes about 15 minutes or more for the analytics to catch up and then display data. So I'm going to pause the tape, and then I'll show a little bit of the data later. And after about 15 minutes or so, I'll have some data that shows up on the bottom down here. I'll start getting traffic from the client to the client, and also the number of clients themselves. So this was just a short video demonstrating how to set up a Guest Self Signup Wireless LAN and demonstrate a client logging into this type of wireless LAN.